Okay, happy Friday, December 22nd. We'll be celebrating Christmas this weekend. So, Romans 6, verses 3 and 4. Are you unaware that all of us who were baptized into Christ Jesus were baptized into his death? Therefore, we were buried with him by baptism into death, in order that just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, so we too may walk in newness of life. So, in the last day of the week, I want us to look back at the first question. You see, the question starts out, are you unaware? Now, here's what that question in verse 3 actually follows. I told you we'd look at it by the end of the week. This question follows the verse 1 question of this chapter, which says, shall we sin more so that we get more grace? Should we just go do whatever we want to so God's grace abounds, is the way we hear that worded sometimes. See, the real question is, how do we respond to God's grace? How do we respond to God's mercy? You see, we enjoy forgiveness. We enjoy salvation. Do we disregard what God has done and what pleases him in our enjoyment of forgiveness and salvation? I mean, I hear that sort of when you talk about different faith groups in our culture and society. Oh, well, you can do anything you want to. God forgives you. I don't think that's how we respond to God's goodness. I don't think that's how we respond to God's grace. Matter of fact, Paul says, absolutely not. Do we continue in sin so that grace abounds? No, and no, and no. God's grace abounds, absolutely, but in our gratitude and in our surrender to him, our lives belong to him. We are baptized into Christ's death so that we can live for him. This is an ongoing, prayerful examination of our lives, of our actions, our choices, our attitudes. It should be a daily exercise in our lives to ask ourselves, God, what hinders my walk with you? What hinders me knowing you better? What gets in the way of me being the who that you called me to be? Because it's out of the who we are that defines what we do. Romans 6, 3 and 4. Or are you unaware that all of us who were baptized into Christ Jesus were baptized into his death? Therefore, we were buried with him by baptism into death. In order that, just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, so we too may walk in newness of life. We're walking out a new identity. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.